How to make people feel liked. Look at that first word. Smile. Always. A smile costs nothing. Nothing. Wouldn't it be nice if everybody walked around here smiling?
Yes. Smile will make you feel like?
Yeah. When you go up to someone and someone smiles at you.
No, I beg to differ because some people could smile at you, but it could be phony. I agree.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
They could be like, yeah, they're like,
We're talking about a genuine smile, not a phony smile.
Yeah, genuine.
Some people like
A genuine smile. As a matter of fact, we know that in some organizations, people come to work, arrive at work at the same time every day. Same people come at the same time. They come in the same door every day. And they see the same people every day. They don't say hello. They just walk in. They don't even smile. Okay? So one of the things when we talk about good customer service is smiling. If you go up to that person in Macy's or the DMV, wouldn't it be nice if the person looked at you with a nice smile and said, "Hi, how can I help you today?" Wow, that would be nice. Now, if everybody did this, wow. Part of what you want to happen is that's the way the Dominican Sisters Family Health Service is perceived. That they're the ones that warm, happy, smiling. Remember names. Now, I have a terrible time remembering names. And as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. Okay? Now, there's a trick to remembering names. You can increase your ability to remember names by about 50% if you repeat their name 3 times when you meet them. Okay? So, let's take a name. Your name is?
Ernie.
Ernie. So, hi Ernie, how you doing? Ernie, what do you do? What's your job here?
I'm having a conversation.
Yeah, what's your job? I'm trying to have a conversation. Not successfully, I guess, but okay.
I'm a social worker.
You're a social worker, okay. And Ernie, do you work just in Manhattan or in the other boroughs?
About 3 boroughs.
About 3 boroughs. Okay, notice I used his name about 3 times there. So you can do it kind of naturally. That increases the chances of me remembering Ernie's name by about 50%. Okay? Doesn't work all the time, but it helps. So, remembering names and saying hello, obviously. Okay? I work in a lot of different organizations. I can tell the culture of that organization within the first 10 to 15 minutes. There are some organizations you walk in, and as you're walking down the hall, people look at you, they make eye contact, they say hello, they smile. It's wow. Whenever you talk to anybody and you say, "I'm looking for so-and-so," "Oh yeah, you know, Hilda's great, she works over here." And there's always something positive to say about people. I walk into other organizations, and check it out when you go to different organizations now. See how people interact with each other. Forget about saying hello to you and smiling at you. Do they do it with each other? Tells you a lot about the organization. All right, here's your next exercise. You've got a brand new employee that started to work here. They'd really like to fit in. They're enthusiastic, etc. What advice would you give him or her for how to fit in when they're dealing with other employees? The next one is making people feel independent. Ask questions instead of giving orders. Make a person happy to do something you suggest. Ask them do you a favor to do something. Big one is give somebody a reputation to live up to. That works really well. In other words, I remember there was one organization I'd go to, and the landscape around the organization was really beautiful. And I remember I was walking in, one of the guys working on the landscaping. I said, "Wow, this place really looks great. You're doing a great job here." Makes the person feel good and makes them want to live up to that reputation. There's a very famous study that was done a number of years ago with children in elementary school. And they told these teachers in the 2nd grade or 3rd grade, there were about 4 teachers, and they told 2 of them that the students that they were getting the year before were the real difficult children. Children with learning difficulties, children that behavioral difficulties, and they really weren't the smart kids. They got the lower end. And they told the other 2 teachers that they got the cream of the crop. That their kids were smart, bright, they were really terrific, they were independent learners, all of this. And they waited about 2 months, and then they went and took a look at how those kids were performing and asked the teachers about them. The 2 groups where the teacher was told they were at the bottom end, they weren't performing very well, and the teachers were very critical of them. 2 groups where the teachers were told they got the top end, they were performing very well, and the teachers had very good things to say about them. In reality, there was no difference in any of the classes. They all got a mixture of kids who were at the top end and kids who were at the other end. Notice how their performance was. I know when I teach a college course, if I give a quiz the first month and the kids that really don't do that well, they wind up getting C's, I know for the remainder of the semester, that's the level they're going to operate at. And that's what they give me. On the other hand, if I give a slightly easier quiz and they get A's, even the C students wind up working harder to keep the A. And very often, they'll go from a C to a B. Maybe they won't be A, but they'll go from a C to a B. Why? You want to give someone that reputation to live up to. All right, your boss tells you to do a job and get Carla to help you. You know Carla will not be happy about it and may not help with all her effort. How would you respectfully go about enlisting Carla's assistance? Okay, I'll give you a little longer to work on this one with your groups. Not only do we explain to her and see what part she would like to do, but focus on her strengths. Give her the reputation. Gee, I know you do this so well, it would be great if you could help me with it. So giving her that reputation, acknowledging it.
What if she doesn't have that?
Well, then you can't say it. Obviously, you can't say it.
This is the negative. Everybody has strengths. Everybody.
Well, what if that particular test she's really poor?
Well, then I don't know if I'd pick Carla to help me.
And it would be a challenge.
Probably the wrong one. Okay, so in general, how can you show respect, treat others the way you'd like to be treated, understand people are different and respect their differences. Okay, some behaviors to avoid. Based on studies, this is what people don't like from healthcare workers. This is what people in the healthcare industry, especially patients, they don't like when caregivers violate confidentiality. They don't like when the caregiver has a negative attitude, not necessarily to them, just an overall negative attitude. Poor personal appearance, especially when they're coming into their home. Someone saying, it's not my job. Now, it may not be your job, but then what would you say? Let me find out who can help you. Someone saying, I don't know. Same thing. Let me find out for you. I don't know now, but let me see if I can find out. And unsure where to send the person, that doesn't mean physically where to send them, but rather unsure what's the next step. So if you're not sure what the next step is, you need to find out for that person. So these are some things that really get patients, especially in families, ticked off. I have some questions up here. All right. How would you describe the clerk's attitude?
Disgusting. Snotty.
Okay, good. Snotty, disgusting, rude.
Disrespectful.
Good. Okay. Good. What did the staff member do wrong?
Not recognize the mother when she first came to the desk.
Good, okay. What else?
She wasn't polite.
Good,
She was dismissive.
good.
Yeah.
Did she help solve the problem?
No.
No, not at all.
She
Okay.
magnified it.
Yeah. Now, how do you think the mother felt? Furious.
It
Okay.
was a waste of time.
How do you think the staff member felt, the clerk?
She felt fine.
Yeah, she was probably having a bad day. She was probably having a bad day herself. So.
She's going to have a bad day herself. She wasn't a happy camper. Okay? So she wasn't happy either. So neither the mother was happy, nor was the clerk happy. Okay. There was a movie out a number of years ago, Groundhog Day. Remember, everything happens and it repeats itself. Well, we're going to have a Groundhog Day moment right now. We're going to ask the both of you to read page 10A. So, how would you describe the attitude now?
Positive.
Good, good. Okay. What did the staff member do right? What did the clerk do right?
She's helpful.
She fixed the problem.
Acknowledged her. She listened. She explained what the reason was, why you needed an appointment. She was empathetic. She said, gee, you must have taken your son out of school. Must have been an inconvenience. Okay. And then finally, what did she do?
Try to look for solutions.
Yeah, tried to look for solutions. Okay. How do you think the mother felt this time?
Appreciated.
Better, right? Okay. Maybe she wasn't happy because there's still an issue, but she felt better. How do you think the staff member felt?
Good for helping someone.
Yeah. And the only difference was the staff member's attitude and how she went about handling it. And at the end, the staff member was happier than the mother was happy. Same thing? All right, so how do you do that? What's the way to really do it? Talking about 4 key steps in customer service. The first is to provide a warm greeting. Second time that the clerk did that. Second, anticipate the customer's needs. Third, if you're using the phone, apply good telephone skills. And finally, handle complaints with compassion. So, how do you provide a warm greeting? You make eye contact. You look at the person. You smile. You say hello. Call people by their name. If you don't know their name, what do? You ask them. Okay? And offer to help. Very nice greeting. Clerk did it the second time. Okay? Second, anticipate the customer's needs. Notice when somebody looks confused. Offer to help without them having to ask. So many times, I remember I was at your Bronx office, and I had come in, and it was a trip, so I got in there, and the person that was, helping me out, get all settled and all, was there. And in the Bronx office, it's one of these brownstones that are about 4 flights up. And I remember saying, gee, is there a men's room around here? And she said to me, oh yeah, if you go upstairs and you turn right over here, and then with that she said, come on with me. And she brought me up. And I said, wow, how nice. Okay? What a welcoming, nice gesture. Okay? Offering to help without people having to ask. I don't know where it was. She was going to help me find it because she could see when she was explaining, I had this confused look on my face. Tell people what to expect. What's going to come next? Keep people informed along the way and always anticipate the customer's concern, especially in your field. Okay, third step is applying good telephone skills. You put a smile on your face before you answer the telephone. Why? That's helpful. Gets you in mind frame. Something more than that.
Your attitude shows through the phone. So if you answer the phone that you're pissed off that you gotta answer it, the person on the other end is gonna realize.
Yeah, and you know what? When you smile, the muscles in your face cause your voice to go up about a half an octave. so it comes across on the phone. I'm going to give you a little experiment to do. If you live with anybody at home, notice when they get on the phone. You could almost tell who they're talking to without even knowing the name of the person, without them saying it, just by their expression. If it's someone they really like, their voice is high, they're happy, and all of that. If it's someone that they're not crazy about, maybe their sister, their mother, whatever, all of a sudden you hear the tone is flat, and it's yes, no. Okay. It comes across. Identify your department and yourself. Use the caller's name. Listen. If you're going to put the person on hold, always ask, "Can I put you on hold for a moment?" And finally, transfer the call appropriately. What's an appropriate transfer? We call it the warm transfer. If I need to transfer somebody's call, I'm going to ask, I need to transfer you to so-and-so because she's the one that handles this. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. Here's their direct extension just in case we get disconnected, so you don't have to start all over again. Then what you do, you ask them to hold. You call that person and say, I have so-and-so on the phone, wants to talk to you about whatever it is. Can you take the call? They say yes, transfer it. Now you go back and you say, okay, I'm going to transfer you to Helen. She's waiting for you, etc. Now, by letting the person know who's calling and what it's about, you give them a chance to be prepared. So it helps you co-work. If, on the other hand, the person can't take the call, you're able to say, she's busy right now, however, I'll have a call you in an hour. So there's a specific time when the person can call. Okay? So try to practice that warm transfer. And finally, handle complaints with compassion. Give the person your full attention, evaluate the message, not the customer. Always offer an apology for their inconvenience. Remember what we talked about at the very beginning when you told your stories? And I said there were 3 things in common. First was a mistake was made. The second was you had to take your time to correct their mistake. Well, if someone calls and is complaining, you should always apologize for the inconvenience. You're not apologizing because you did anything wrong. Or maybe the organization didn't even do anything. You're just apologizing for the inconvenience. Show you understand the anger and frustration. We'll talk about that later. Showing empathy. Okay? I understand. This is the second call you're making. I can understand. You know, you must be angry. I know I would be angry if I had to do that. Repeat the problem in the person's words. And then finally tell the person what you plan to do. You want to fix the problem. Okay. In the rest of that, there are some teaching points that go over everything I just covered, but in more detail. Any questions? Okay, you survived part 1. That was very good. Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then when you come back in 10 minutes, we'll do part 2.